Do you want to photograph the Milky Way without a star tracker? In this video, I'll show you the exact gear, settings, and focusing method I use to get clean, sharp Milky Way images using basic DSLR setup. I'm Carly Stocks from Dark Sky, Utah, and I've spent years chasing dark skies. Even if you're new to astrophotography, you can capture amazing images with just a camera, lens, and tripod. You don't need a lot of gear for this. Here's a simple setup I'm going to use in this video. A Canon 6D camera, a Tamron 15 to 30mm f2.8 lens, a sturdy tripod, extra batteries, and memory cards. That's it, nothing fancy. This setup is similar to what I used to take my first Milky Way photos years ago, and it still works today. A full frame camera will help, but any DSLR or mirrorless camera will work. The most important thing is a wide-angle lens with a low f number. For the Milky Way, timing and planning matter a lot more than gear. Before you head out, you need to know when and where to shoot the Milky Way. The Milky Way core is visible from March to October. I like using photopills or stellarium to see when the Milky Way core will rise in my location. You want a night with a new moon or very little moonlight, clear skies, dark skies if possible, and the Milky Way core above the horizon. If you're watching this from November through February, the Milky Way core isn't visible right now. But everything I'm showing you works perfectly once the Milky Way season returns in the spring or summer. You can also use these techniques to take images of the Orion Nebula and the winter Milky Way. Once you are on location, get your camera set up and dial in your settings. Set your camera to manual mode. We want full control here. Set your aperture to the lowest f number possible for your lens. We call this shooting wide open. This lens goes as low as f2.8, and I take images at f2.8 to let in the most light. Sometimes I will use f3.2 to get more depth and sharpness. Set your shutter speed to 15 to 20 seconds. For a 15mm lens, 20 seconds is usually safe, but for 24mm, use around 13 seconds. Set your ISO between 3200 and 6400. You can test multiple ISO settings to see which one you like best. Set your white balance around 3800 to 4000 Kelvin, or leave it on auto and adjust later. Next, make sure you're shooting in raw image format, not JPEG. This will give you more flexibility during editing. These settings are a good place to start with any camera. If you want exact settings for your specific gear, check out my Milky Way settings calculator. Just follow the link in the description to access it. Next, turn autofocus off and set your lens to manual focus. This switch is usually located on the lens. Turn off long exposure noise reduction if you have it on, because it's going to double your shooting time. These settings will get you great results with your DSLR or mirrorless camera, even without a tracker. Focusing is the hardest part for beginners, so here's the simplest method. This is exactly how I focus in the field, and it works every time. Point your camera at a bright star or distant light. Set your focus ring to the infinity mark if you have one. Push the button to switch your camera to live view. Find the star on the screen. Hit the zoom in button and make sure the star is inside the box. Push the button twice more to zoom in to 10x. Once you see the star on the screen, slowly turn the focus ring until the star becomes as small and sharp as possible. Next, take a test shot and zoom in to confirm it's sharp. If it still looks a little fuzzy, refocus and retake test shots until you have sharp stars. This is exactly how I focus in the field, and it works every time. Here are some untracked Milky Way photos I've taken over the years with the Canon 6D settings and methods I just showed you. Let me show you a quick beginner edit. This is not a full in-depth edit, just the basics to get you a clean Milky Way image. First, I'll adjust the white balance so the Milky Way core looks bright and a little warm. Next, I'll boost the exposure if needed and add a bit of contrast. Next, I will adjust the highlights and shadows. I'm going to raise or lower each of those to see which adjustment looks best for each picture. Then I'll come down here and add texture, clarity, and dehaze sparingly. Then I'll scroll down here, add a little sharpening and noise reduction. Click these boxes to remove chromatic aberration and the lens profile correction. If it doesn't automatically recognize your lens, you can click these drop-down menus and find it. That's it, a clean, natural edit that brings out the Milky Way without over-processing. Now you're ready to capture your first Milky Way photo with your own DSLR or mirrorless camera. No star tracker needed. If you want a simple checklist with all the settings and steps, download my free Milky Way Quick Start Guide from the link in the description. But if you want to take your photography to the next level and learn to create stunning single images and cinematic Milky Way time lapses, I have a complete course linked below where I'll walk you through my entire process step by step. Be sure to subscribe for more astrophotography tutorials. Take care and clear skies.